You know, it's been a while since we perused the filmography of John C. McGinley, but that's mostly because I realized I'd hit a wall. Some of his most recent work is on the special needs community and an unsurprisingly acclaimed feature on Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
You don't stop harassing my officers, I will release proof that you are bisexual.
Already came out.
Oh, come on, you can't blackmail anyone anymore.
And at the other side of the equation, you know what followed Sweet Liberty?
The first real casualty of war is innocence. The first real movie about the war in Vietnam is Platoon.
And after that,
From the director of Platoon, Wall Street.
what do you want me to do? I know what doesn't pay the bills around here. I could have tried Highlander too, but the person who gave me the idea to get into this mess as a hobby did the definitive review on that one before I even left high school. So I went through his IMDb and found a movie not that far off from Oliver Stone's masterpieces that was clearly perfectly suited for my purposes, the creatively titled Shakedown. Just one look at the poster tells you everything you need to know about this movie. That is, in most countries. If you were unfortunate enough to live in Australia before the reign of dankpots, you got this! Come on! Australia already has a blue jeans cop, an overworked lawyer, an undercover cop, in a city where everyone's for sale. Whatever you do, don't call the cops. Good 80s action film pitch right there. Complemented nicely by a giant Peter Weller and Sam Elliott looking down at a cop with a zero Halliburton. Honestly, if this had been the case, solving the plot would have been way easier, but we're not there yet. And we weren't there for years. Before I started writing the script, I got distracted. See, this one time Nickelodeon had a show with two really likable hosts that got their own pilot, and, well, here we are. But now we can work on it. The IMDb page has a lot of info on it and... wait, Telefutura 69? Oh, I'm saving this list. Any channel with a name like that has to have some primo schlock in it. So, like Sweet Liberty, there's not a lot of Johnny C on this one. Our first lead is Peter Weller, playing Roland Dalton.
Hi!
Baby.
Congratulations.
Gail, you beamed me up. You beamed me up in the middle of my ecstasy.
Don't you think it's a little early in the morning for heavy metal?
Is such a thing even possible?
A lawyer on the cusp of achieving the dream of 1980s yuppidom. He gets to wear an expensive suit and work on Wall Street thanks to his super yuppie girlfriend and her rich dad. But before he can sacrifice his Orange Julius and double denim lifestyle, he has to deal with one last case, the one that makes you reconsider your life. And if you are to reconsider your life, why wouldn't you do it based on the advice from one of the greats?
These I gotta prosecute. These I'm willing to let cop a plea. You take the whole package. I let these go for time served. It's beautiful.
Yeah, man.
Oh, baby. Dalton, I never figured you for this upwardly mobile bullshit, man. It is a sellout.
You know what? He's right. Fuck Wall Street. What? You get to be part of the legal team whose sole purpose is to desperately try and get Sarbanes-Oxley repealed? You know, Sarbanes-Oxley. The law put in place for stricter record-keeping and oversight after Enron and Tyco gave new meaning to fraud. Look, I went to college at some point, right? I'd like to think that some of that money didn't go to waste. Sadly, the best mentorship on the planet is interrupted by New York's newest and finest assistant DA, Susan, played by Patricia Charbonneau. She also happens to have been Roland's ex-girlfriend. It's thanks to her that we have the plot for the movie. See, we're not in current New York City. This New York City is a lawless, permissive wasteland filled to the brim with the horror and detritus of a failing metropolis that's circling down the drain. Okay, it's pretty much the same, but they still had porn theaters in Times Square in '88, and crack was the drug of choice. So when a crack dealer shoots an undercover cop in Central Park, it's just one of a myriad of cases.
Car 54, okay.
There's a holdup in the Bronx, Brooklyn's broken out in fights. There's a traffic jam in Harlem that's backed up to Jackson Heights.
Unsurprisingly, there's more than meets the eye on this one.
Dude was a blue jean cop, man.
Blue jean cop?
Yeah, blue jean cop.
Oh, what are you saying? You shot him because you didn't like his pants?
Even with just 1 week to go before he can get arrested on Dorsia on name recognition alone, he's going to throw all of his weight on the case, and that means getting the inside scoop on blue jean cops from his friend in the force, Richie Marks, played by Sam Elliott. And yes, I'm pleased to report that his head will be joining us for the entire movie.
Like some cop. Some average guy never had a shot at a big best in all his life. Just go going along, grinding out his 27.5 a year. All of a sudden, he ends up in a narc squad. A bag full of chemicals is worth more than that cop's gonna make in 10 years. Next day, he's out shopping for designer jeans.
Oh, fuck, man, I gotta find out what's going down here.
So look around.
Oh, look around. Great. What? Look. Who? What?
I'm gonna tell you something, Dalton. Cops don't know shit about hiding money. Check out his house.
With absolute police endorsement, Robolaw here quickly susses out that the cop now grazing the morgue was dirtier than the average subway. Meanwhile, the stranger is helping these cops on a raid at Patrick Bateman's crack house.
I'm going to set cash bail at $1 million.
Objection!
You are the prosecutor, and you're objecting to $1 million cash bail?
Yes, Your Honor. It's not enough.
Objection overruled. Mr. Rosen?
My client will make bail.
And that's just for the bribes that the judge doesn't tell anyone else in the law system. Okay, so here's the thing. Up until now we've been doing this setup right. A lot of putting little pieces into place, that takes time. But from this point on, after a romantic date where the burden of their positions dawn on them, we're going to see all of that coming into play in short order. It's gonna go off the rails now. From the top, Nicky Carr, that's the guy that just posted bail, played by Antonio Fargas, is not half angry with his luxury crack house getting a grenade enema, so he immediately sends his best man to deal with the snitch. See? Completely different from New York. Way less traffic. Anyway, thanks to some intel generously given entirely out of the tipper's volition, Reggie figures out where he is and phones Dalton for some backup. By the way, someone should really tell Sonny Crockett he left his car back there. They make it to where he is, but alas, it's a bit too late.
Shit.
Holy shit.
Freeze, officer, freeze!
Get your goddamn hands up!
Anything you say, officer.
See, this is what you do if you want to get people back in theaters. Forget superheroes and people deluding themselves into thinking that all movies are better than they were. Spring-loaded knives and a hidden Uzi. This guy killed 7 people just making his escape. He follows that one by stealing a police car and forcing our dynamic duo to chase him on a motorcycle from a gang member that decided to take the bus. But who figured out that he was the leak? Well, this guy, who seems to be relatively new in this precinct and is taking over from O'Leary. Him and Nicky are working together on the loose ends. Him trying to make sure our crack dealer from the beginning of the movie goes to jail, and Nicky has to deal with Sam Elliott. This goes about as well as you can expect, taking into account his star player stopped being biology and went straight into chemistry last night.
What are you gonna do, asshole?
Told you, off the rails. And it doesn't let go. Well, there are some slower bits. The writer decided that Dalton and Susan should be together again, so they turned the bitch dial on Dalton's girlfriend to 11.
I can't believe you want him out.
Gail, honey, I don't necessarily want him out. I just don't want him in for something he didn't do.
Who cares if he did it? If he didn't do this, he damn sure did something else. Who gives a fuck if he's innocent?
This way, when he immediately goes back to banging the assistant DA, the audience is okay with it. I have to assume that this also breaches some kind of conflict of interest and can get this entire thing dismissed. Not that anyone would notice, as demonstrated when the other honest cop in town reveals that, way back at the beginning of the movie, the crack dealer actually hit record on his boombox instead of stop, and so everything that happened is on tape.
Thank you, man.
You know, the first time I watched this thing, I didn't read it that way. I thought he was being clever, you know? Dude you never seeing moves menacingly towards you and demands you turn your music off. You've clearly been doing this for a while, make sure you have something to back you up. But no, it was a complete accident. So much so that it's only after they notice Dalton desperately trying to get into the evidence locker that they question what he's looking for. Also, this.
Gotta talk to you about
I gotta
something.
talk to
There's
you.
something very important I have to tell you.
Wait, I'm pregnant.
That's gonna complicate things, won't it? Though things are plenty complicated anyway.
I'm going downstairs to the fire alarm box. When the bell goes off, shoot him.
What? No! You can't shoot him in the middle of a police station. Even if you pull the fire alarm, someone's gonna notice you getting the fucking body out.
Hey, I recognize you from TV.
Even better, you're trying to whack a guy in the middle of defending a case that's so high profile the lawyers are recognizable. A case that, lest we forget, is taking under a week.
Hey, they coming after you?
Yep, they're coming after me.
And now, not only you're trying to whack him, straight up half of the NYPD are chasing him and setting up roadblocks. This has escalated beyond the dealings of a crack syndicate. How do you plan to cover this up? Maybe if this was a small town with a corrupt police department, but straight across Midtown Manhattan? The mayor will have a stroke before you can say disband the police.
I mean, it boggles the mind.
Can you imagine, like, some detective at the FBI field office just reading through info briefs, and all of a sudden one of his aides comes in and tells him that the New York City Police Department has gone rogue and are chasing a legal aid lawyer who is defending that case that's been on the news. And then he does a little digging and discovers that there are at least 2 criminal deaths, 7 civilian deaths, and 1 traditional arrest all surrounding this case. Even trying to keep up appearances, that becomes the most high-profile investigation of a police department in history. And the best thing of all is the tape isn't even admissible as evidence. Despite this setback though, he gets his client out. Presumably after the jury heard that a literal police regiment chased him to the courthouse that day.
I did these love notes in class, Richie, what the heck?
Car and Rydell are heading for the airport. You wanna drive? You wanna shoot?
Sure, what the fuck? Everything else has collapsed. Let's steal the dead cop's car and try and serve justice the old-fashioned way. Why not? 50-50 this town becomes the end of Joker by nightfall. For now though, they still have a plane to catch.
Richard, this is O'Leary's wheels. You copped O'Leary's car.
I didn't think he'd give a shit.
Pre-01 airport security did not give a shit. Though it works out well for us in this case. What? No! No towards that one! Oh god, please no! Just drop Sam Elliott on the bay and land. Sure. Between the grenade and the new Boeing nitroglycerin cooling system, you can get things like that. Speaking of bombs...
Everyone, there's something I need to tell you. I lost the baby.
Easy peasy.
And so Weller is free to go back to the DA, and everyone live happily ever after. Well, except for the crack epidemic, and the fact that their relationship has already failed once, and the absolute tidal wave that's coming after this whole mess. If nothing else, Dalton will have to hire some security. Lot of angry cops while the administration does either the biggest calling or the biggest cover-up in the history of the city. Me? I'm just happy that once again Johnny C has brought me to a little golden nugget of a movie. In a world of silly 80s action flicks, why not check out one more? See if you can make it with only one Lebowski and one RoboCop reference like I did.
The mayor says we gotta offer every convict a condom a day, along with counseling on safe sex.
I don't want a condom.
I want a cop.